Welcome back to XRP Insider, the channel where we break down the biggest crypto stories shaping the future of digital assets and show you exactly what smart money is watching right now. Today's update is one of the biggest developments XRP holders have seen in months because the Clarity Act just pushed the XRP price prediction conversation into a completely different direction. At the same time, another project called Pepeto is exploding across the market after crossing the massive $9 million milestone in its pre-sale. Traders everywhere are now asking the same question. Is XRP finally ready for its next major breakout, or are investors already shifting towards smaller projects with higher upside potential before the next bull run fully begins? We are going to break down everything happening right now, why whales suddenly became aggressive again, what the Clarity Act actually means for XRP moving forward, and why Pepeto is suddenly becoming one of the most talked about pre-sales in the crypto space today. The biggest reason this story matters is because crypto regulation has finally started moving in a direction the market has been waiting years to see. According to reports from CoinDesk, the Senate Banking Committee advanced the Clarity Act in a strong bipartisan 15-9 vote on May 14th. And that single moment immediately sent shockwaves through the entire crypto market. XRP reacted fast. The token jumped more than 7% and pushed above the important $1.50 level as traders rushed into the market, believing this could finally become the beginning of clear crypto market structure regulation in the United States. For years, uncertainty has been one of the biggest things holding XRP back, especially after Ripple's legal battles kept investors cautious. But now, many traders believe this vote could eventually help define XRP more clearly inside the financial system, and that possibility alone was enough to trigger massive buying pressure within hours after the announcement became public. What made the situation even more interesting was the reaction from large whale wallets during the rally. Data from Crypto Times showed that wallets holding at least 10 million XRP now control roughly 45.83 billion tokens, which equals nearly 68.48% of the total XRP supply. That number is extremely important because it shows large investors are still heavily accumulating despite market uncertainty. Whenever whales hold this much supply, the market pays attention because it often signals long-term conviction from institutional-level players. However, the excitement did cool down shortly after the initial rally because XRP failed to fully break resistance levels and eventually slipped back below key price zones. That tells us something very important. Even though the Clarity Act created a strong bullish narrative for XRP, one political vote alone cannot instantly remove every resistance level sitting in front of the chart. The market still wants confirmation, and traders know full passage of the bill will matter much more than early momentum headlines. At the same time XRP was fighting resistance, another project quietly started dominating crypto conversations for a completely different reason. Pepeto crossed the $9 million mark in its pre-sale, and many investors now believe it represents a much higher risk to reward opportunity compared to large-cap coins like XRP. The reason is simple. XRP already sits as one of the biggest crypto assets in the market, which means even strong bullish moves may still only deliver moderate gains compared to early-stage projects entering the market at extremely low valuations. That is why traders looking for aggressive upside are suddenly paying attention to Pepeto. The project is positioning itself not just as another meme coin, but as an ecosystem designed around utility, protection, marketplace functionality, and zero-fee trading. In a market where new tokens launch every single day, investors are now searching for projects that offer real tools instead of pure hype. And that is exactly the narrative Pepeto is trying to dominate right now. One of the biggest selling points behind Pepeto is the marketplace system already operating inside the ecosystem. According to the project, the marketplace was designed to help protect traders from the hidden traps commonly found inside newer crypto tokens. Anyone who has traded meme coins or low market cap projects already understands how dangerous the space can become. Many smart contracts appear safe on the surface, but contain hidden functions that can drain liquidity, lock user funds, or remove permissions without warning. That fear has pushed many retail investors completely away from smaller crypto projects. Pepeto is attempting to solve that problem by building marketplace protection directly into its ecosystem. That message is resonating with investors because the market is clearly shifting toward projects that combine hype with functionality. Traders are becoming more cautious, smarter, and more selective about where they place capital. especially after multiple cycles filled with rug pulls and failed launches destroyed confidence across the meme coin space. Another reason Pepeto is gaining attention so quickly is because of its aggressive zero-fee structure. Pepeto Swap reportedly processes trades without charging fees, which immediately stands out in a market where transaction costs can eat heavily into profits, especially for active traders moving across multiple networks. The project also introduced a cross-chain bridge system designed to move assets between networks without expensive transfer costs. For many traders, this matters because capital efficiency becomes critical during high volatility market conditions. Every extra fee cuts into profits, and every delay creates additional risk exposure. Pepeto is marketing itself as a smoother, cheaper, and more efficient trading environment compared to many existing platforms. At the same time, the staking system, offering up to 173% APY, is creating even more excitement among early investors who believe holding through the pre-sale stage could potentially generate enormous returns before the project even reaches major exchange listings. The timing behind Pepeto's rise is also important because it comes during a period where fear and uncertainty still dominate parts of the crypto market. While many retail traders continue hesitating after previous market crashes, some investors are using this period to aggressively position themselves before the next major cycle fully begins. More than $9 million flowing into a pre-sale during uncertain conditions sends a strong signal about confidence inside the community. According to the project, the founder connected to the original Pepe coin's success helped design the ecosystem, and that instantly created major attention because the original Pepe meme coin became one of the biggest surprise success stories in crypto history. The mention of Solid Proof reviewing the marketplace contracts also added another layer of confidence for investors searching for projects with additional security verification before entering early positions. What makes the comparison between XRP and Pepeto so fascinating right now is that both represent completely different types of investment strategies inside crypto. XRP represents the more established large-cap asset with legal progress, institutional narratives, and potential long-term adoption through regulation clarity. Pepeto represents the early-stage high-risk, high-reward opportunity where investors hope to capture explosive upside before broader market recognition arrives. Many traders are no longer viewing these opportunities as competitors. Instead, they are using both strategies at the same time. Some investors continue holding XRP, expecting the Clarity Act and future regulation improvements to push prices higher over time, while simultaneously entering smaller pre-sales like Pepeto, hoping for aggressive returns that large-cap coins can no longer realistically deliver during short market cycles. When we look specifically at XRP's technical position right now, analysts remain divided but cautiously optimistic. XRP currently trades near the $1.50 range, while continuing to battle heavy resistance zones that previously rejected upward momentum. The token reached close to $1.90 during 2025 before collapsing back toward the $1.10 area earlier this year. That recovery from lower levels already shows buyers remain active around XRP despite volatility. Analysts at CoinGabber now predict XRP could potentially target between $3 and $5 by the end of the year if the Clarity Act eventually reaches full passage and creates stronger institutional confidence around crypto market structure regulation. Meanwhile, CoinCodex data places XRP's 200-day simple moving average near $2.15, while RSI levels remain relatively neutral around 52, suggesting the asset still has room to move without entering overbought territory immediately. Even with bullish projections targeting the $3 to $5 range, many investors recognize the limitations large-cap assets naturally face compared to smaller pre-sale projects. A move from $1.50 to $5 would still represent strong growth for XRP holders. But traders searching for life-changing gains often move towards smaller market cap opportunities because the percentage upside potential becomes dramatically larger. That is why Pepeto's supporters keep emphasizing the possibility of major returns after exchange listings begin. The current pre-sale price, sitting around 0.0000001864, continues attracting speculative investors who believe early entry matters more than waiting for public market momentum later. History shows many traders who generated massive gains during previous bull cycles entered projects before mainstream attention arrived, not after major exchange listings already pushed valuations significantly higher. Another factor driving the excitement around XRP is the possibility of future ETF-related momentum if regulatory clarity improves further. Many traders believe confirmation around XRP's commodity status could eventually create pathways for more institutional financial products tied to the asset. That narrative became much stronger after the Clarity Act vote, because markets now see at least some political willingness to move crypto regulation forward instead of continuing endless uncertainty. Institutional money typically waits for clearer legal frameworks before entering aggressively, and that is exactly why every major crypto regulation headline now creates such intense reactions across the market. Investors understand that long-term institutional adoption may depend heavily on how lawmakers ultimately define crypto assets inside the financial system. Meanwhile, Pepeto's marketing strategy continues leaning heavily into urgency and timing. The project constantly emphasizes that current presale pricing disappears once major exchange listings arrive, creating pressure for investors to enter early instead of waiting. Whether traders fully believe those projections or not, the strategy is clearly working because community growth continues accelerating rapidly. In crypto markets, momentum and community conviction often become just as important as technology itself during early stages of a project's lifecycle. The fact that Pepeto crossed the $9 million milestone during uncertain market conditions suggests many investors are still willing to take aggressive positions when they believe upside potential outweighs the risks involved. What really stands out about the current crypto environment is how quickly sentiment can shift from fear to optimism after a single major catalyst. Just weeks ago, many traders remained cautious about XRP because resistance levels kept holding, and regulatory uncertainty still dominated headlines. Then, one bipartisan committee vote suddenly changed the tone of the conversation across the entire market. That shows how emotionally driven crypto markets still remain. Investors constantly react to momentum, narratives, regulation headlines, whale accumulation, and future expectations all at the same time. Right now, XRP benefits from renewed optimism around regulation clarity, while Pepeto benefits from the market's endless appetite for early-stage explosive opportunities before mainstream attention fully arrives. The broader crypto market is now entering what many analysts believe could become one of the most important periods leading into 2026. Regulation conversations are accelerating, institutional interest continues growing, and retail traders are slowly returning after long periods of caution. Projects connected to utility, infrastructure, and strong communities appear positioned to benefit the most if bullish momentum continues expanding. XRP fits directly into the institutional and regulatory narrative, while Pepeto fits the aggressive retail speculation and ecosystem growth narrative. Both represent very different but potentially powerful parts of the next market cycle if conditions continue improving over the coming months. For XRP holders specifically, the biggest thing to watch moving forward will be whether political momentum around the Clarity Act continues building or fades after the initial excitement. If the bill advances further and eventually creates clearer definitions for crypto assets, XRP could absolutely see stronger institutional participation and potentially revisit previous highs. But if momentum stalls politically, resistance levels may continue limiting upside temporarily while markets wait for stronger catalysts. Traders should expect volatility to remain extremely high because crypto markets react aggressively to every new headline connected to regulation and institutional adoption. At the same time, investors watching Pepeto are now focused almost entirely on exchange listing timelines and continued pre-sale growth. The project's supporters believe entering before major exchange exposure creates the best opportunity for maximum upside potential. Whether Pepeto ultimately delivers on those expectations remains to be seen, but there is no question the project successfully captured market attention at exactly the right moment. Combining marketplace functionality, staking rewards, zero-fee trading, and aggressive marketing created a powerful narrative during a period where investors continue hunting for the next breakout opportunity capable of outperforming larger established assets. In the end, the biggest takeaway from today's story is that crypto markets are entering a completely new phase, where regulation clarity and early-stage innovation are now colliding at the same time. XRP's future suddenly looks stronger because lawmakers are finally moving toward clearer crypto frameworks, while Pepeto's rapid growth shows investors still crave opportunities capable of delivering explosive gains before the next bull market fully arrives. The whales accumulating XRP clearly believe something bigger may be developing behind the scenes. But aggressive pre-sale investors also believe timing matters more than waiting for confirmation later. As always in crypto, the biggest winners are often the people who move before the crowd fully understands what is happening. That is exactly why both XRP and Pepeto are dominating conversations across the market today, and why the next few months could become some of the most important months crypto investors have seen in years.